Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to my YouTube channel. I've had many YouTube channels in the past. This one is just going to be stuff that I want to do, and there's no creepers from high school following me on this one. It's a fresh account. I've had lots of YouTube accounts in the past. I've had some which had 1,500 subscribers, a few who have had over, 400, 300. Anyway, I just can't seem to commit to one. So we're starting a new one. This channel is called Steve because that's my name. I'm a semi-professional collegiate Hearthstone player, which means I get paid by my school to play Hearthstone. If you don't know what Hearthstone is, like a card game, but I don't know if I'll be doing any of that stuff on this channel. As I said, this channel is for me. It's what I want to do. Speaking of which, what I want to do is we're going to review a plugin I've been playing a lot of on my Minecraft server. This is a new server. I just got this one. It's fresh. I have another one that I play with my friends, but we use a plugin called Civs. Civs is a mix between Factions and Towny, but it's better than both. What Civs does is allows you to build civilizations within Minecraft. One of my favorite games is Sid Meier's Civilization 6. I also have the 5th version of that, and I probably have 500 hours or above on both of those combined. Another timeless classic is this masterpiece, Minecraft. So combining those two together is a complicated task, but it's done successfully, I think so, through the Civs plugin. We're going to take a look and do some tutorial stuff. I couldn't find too much content online about how to get started and understanding a lot of the interface and the systems within the plugin. So we're going to get started. As I said, this is my own server. It's not a mod. If you ever hear me say mod, my bad. It's not a mod, it's a plugin. So this is a plugin for a server. Currently I'm using Aternos, which if you'd like a free server during this time of the coronavirus and you want to play some Minecraft with your boys, this is the way to do it. It's free. I'll put a link in the description. I have 2 servers on it. There's a bit of a wait time, not gonna lie. I think it took 52 minutes for me to launch this server, but the ping's pretty good, and it's a free server. You literally can't complain. So if you want to play Civs, first step you have to do is obviously get a server. Second step is you require 2 prerequisites to be able to run Civs. One is Vault, which is kind of a backdrop, and it's a routing system that allows Civs to work hand in hand with the server, and it kind of smooths things out. I'm not a developer. I have no clue. The other thing it requires is Essentials, and Essentials is important because it gives you all the essential commands. Like all of them, set home, set spawn, set whatever, all that stuff, TPA, TP here, whatever. Essentials gives like 1,000 commands. It also brings an economy system, which is what's required with this. It doesn't have to be Essentials, but Essentials is just the best. If you're going on with your friends, you want to play a Civ server, you go on Aternos, you install Civs through Aternos, you install Vault through Aternos, and you install Essentials through Aternos. Those 3 plugins, you'll have a great time. That's, I think, everything that's required as a prerequisite to play this plugin. So how Civs works is you spawn in with a book, this book here called Menu of Civs. This is going to be your cornerstone. Everything you need is going to be in this book. If you die with this book, you will lose it, but if you respawn, I believe it's added to your inventory every time. So I'm the admin on this server, obviously. It's whitelisted. I'm just doing this as a tutorial server, again, through Aternos, which is free. I'm not sponsored. I'm sure all 15 people that watch this video will wonder if I'm sponsored. I'm not sponsored, but it's a great program, and I've been using it for a few years for sure. It's just it seems too good to be true, but it really is. There's no personal information required. You just need an email, make an account, and throw up an old Aternos server. Anyway, so we're gonna go start to finish in this series. This requires a lot of work, and it's based off a real life cycle. So Aternos is great, but Aternos shuts off if no players are on your server for 5 minutes. How this plugin works is you make money every 24 hours, and that's real human hours. So you'll be able to build shops, and the shops can sell a certain amount of goods in 24 hours. And that's, as I said, real life hours. Some shops sell stuff quicker than others. Some governments sell stuff quicker than others. We'll get all into that later. But my real point is, if you're thinking about playing this seriously, I would suggest playing on a dedicated server. If you look in the description, there will be a link to the Civs wiki, and through the wiki you'll be able to find a server lists for servers that are up 24/7. As I said, you can play Aternos with your friends. You want a private game, that's fine, but Aternos closes if people aren't on for 5 minutes, and it kicks you if you're AFK for 10. So this mod doesn't really work hand in hand unless you plan on playing pretty much all day. that being out of the way, I think we have all the preliminary requirements done. This looks like a pretty flat space to make a town. So the first thing you're going to do is right-click on your book, and you're going to open it. And it's going to tell you if you want to confirm or reject the mod. I don't know what reject does, because if you're opening this book, you probably want to play the plugin. So you can just press confirm. And what it's going to do is it's going to say in the chat, it's going to say what you have to do. So the first thing I have to do is open my book, go to Blueprints, take my shelter. So that Blueprints is this piece of paper right here. Blueprints is if you buy something and your inventory is full, it'll go to Blueprints. You can also get plots from Blueprints. So if you want to sell a plot to a friend, and you can tax your friend if they live in your town, or depending on the government style you pick. If you ever lose this chat box and you're wondering you want it back, you don't know what to do, you just click this guide button. This is the best button. You don't know what your next step is to pick your town, you just click this button. That's it. So the first thing we're going to do is go to Blueprints, and we're going to be able to collect our shelter from here. The shelter is the very basic, the bare bones thing in your town. It's the first thing you can do to make money. So we're going to pick up the shelter here and just add it to your inventory. You can click back out of here, whatever. Like all buildings in this plugin, please excuse me as I say mod, my brain wants to say mod. It requires a structure around it, which I'll show. I just need to cut down a tree real quick. Okay, so cut down a tree, I got some wood, and you'll see why I did get wood in a second. So where do I want to start my town? I want a little shelter, probably, let's say right here. I guess I was wrong. I guess the shelter doesn't require any structure. I must have just put it in a structure on the server that I play on with my friends. So if you saw in the guide, it says, gather 4 bread, 32 carrots, 32 steak, or 32 potatoes. Put them in the shelter chest. So it actually gives you, for the first 3 steps of this plugin, it gives you all the things you need to complete a structure or complete a utility thing. So anyway, it gave us all the things we needed. I'm going to put the steak in here. The shelter pays you for food, but the coal shop pays more. Open your book, go to the shop, and buy the coal shop. So you may be wondering what just happened. I put the meat in there, and it disappeared. So why it did that is if you click on the shelter with the book, not only does it show you the area around the chest, how much is claimed. So if you're on a server and you put a chest, if I put an oak, just a regular chest right here, it would be claimed. People wouldn't be able to open it because the shelter claims a certain area. And within this area, anything you put in here is claimed, can't be destroyed. This is also client side, I should mention. That glass, only I can see it. So if I had a friend, this is client side, they wouldn't be able to see this claim at all. Only you can. So if you click on the shelter with your book, and you go to shelter right here, click for more info, you'll see here, there's a bunch of hoppers and a bunch of payouts. So the reason I put beef in is because I know how this plugin works. Beef is the last input you can have, and it pays you the most. So 32 raw beef gives you $10.24. If I chose to put 32 potatoes in there, I would have only made $5. And you can see if I put the potatoes in there right now, nothing happens. So I knew ahead of time to put the beef in because I knew it generated the most. Now, as I said, it's real world time. So we'll come back here in a bit and we'll see slowly the stuff, 32, 32, 4. It'll slowly start to go down. If you click on this other book and quill over here, it tells you your income, how much you've earned, and how much you've totally earned from the shelter. As I said, the shelter is pretty much the bottom of the entire anything you can make. It's pretty much the worst thing you can make. It's a quick thing. You can put it down. You can claim chests around. You're on a server with your friends. You want to claim some chests. Use the shelter to do that. You can destroy the shelter at any time. It is just the first step you need to do to understanding how to use this plugin. You can also add members to the area. So if I click view members, I'm right here. If I wanted to add a friend to have access to this area that I'm in, I can add the member right there. So now I got 2 new icons at the front of my main menu. Again, just by clicking the book, I have 2 new things. This block down here represents which zone I'm in. I am in the shelter zone right now. If I'm to back up out of here and click here, it's gone. But when I enter, it should say shelter actually. There you go, it says shelter right there. So it'll tell you what the shelter is. That way you don't actually have to click on the chest. You can kind of click away and click in here if you want to edit some stuff that way. We have 2 new tabs here, which we'll talk about in a second. The first thing, what's my next step? I'm going to click the guide to find out. So the next step is I have to open my book, go to the shop, and buy the coal shop. So the shop is the emerald. Again, I'm using a texture pack. It's very similar to the default textures. You probably will not mistake anything. But this is the emerald. This is, it looks very similar. I doubt you will misunderstand, but if you do misunderstand any block, you can let me know and I'll tell you what it is. I'm using the Faithful 32 by 32, I think. Anyway, now we have a bunch of things in here. These are all categories of things we can buy. We can buy a factory, and if you look in here, there's Dye Works, Arrow Factory, and Ice Maker. Towns, there's a few things in here, which I'll explain later. Mines, this stuff will mine resources for you, but drain your town's power. Quarries, same thing. Farms, you can farm, you can set up a farm that'll like break a certain type of tree and your chest will just start filling up with 64 stacks of wood. Animal farm, same story. But the book told us to go to shops. We have to buy the coal shop, which ironically is the coal. I mean, I guess it'd be unironically because that makes most sense. Now, you might be saying, Steve, you don't have $100. You just made $10.24. Well, if I do /balance, I actually have 210. To my understanding, once you build the shelter and complete the quest, it gives you $200. The $10.24, as I said, are generated from the stake, but the extra 200 is generated from completing the quests. These quests will also reward you with money. Usually enough money to buy the next thing. Sometimes it's a little bit short, but it helps you progress quicker. Anyway, so we're going to go to shop. We're going to buy the coal shop. It costs 100, and you have to click the emerald in the top left to buy it. As you can see here, by hovering over the coal shop, we can see the inputs and outputs. By inputting 6 coal or 30 charcoal, we will be paid $18. So 6 coal, obviously more efficient than 30 charcoal, but if you don't have 30 charcoal, you can do it that way. But we're going to buy this building. This little redstone block says this region consumes 1 power. 1 power isn't too big of a deal right now, and power is a whole other system we'll get into as the game progresses. But for right now, you don't have to worry about that. We're just going to buy this. So as you can see, fireworks go off, and you can see in the chat, it tells me what my next thing to do is. Place 25 wool, 14 fences, and 2 chests, then place the coal shop. So unlike the shelter, which I assumed, I guess I got that wrong, the coal shop, if you place it down, it requires these blocks to be built in the radius around the coal shop. Unfortunately, right now, there's no thing that tells you where the radius is. If you wanted to put a chest, it doesn't give you an outline of a radius. Right now, I don't know if there's a way to tell how big the coal shop radius is. You can look it up on the wiki, and I'm pretty sure I know off the top of my head. I think it's a 5x5. So by placing it down here, this needs to be within a 5x5 radius of it. Kind of wish there was an outline of it, but if you have a friend who's built the coal mine, they can come, click regions, and the coal mine will appear for them here. And by clicking it, so I'm going to click the shelter, they can lift an outline for you to see, and they can put down blocks so you're able to tell where the outline for the coal shop would be. So if you have a friend who's progressed a little bit further than they are, it's very easy for them to help you out and understand where the stuff should go. So regardless, we're going to get started. As I said, placing the coal chest, you can see what you need to place. The best design, I feel like, is just doing a really quick, like, shop kind of looking thing. Man, I really am one off here. Okay, I know this is going to make people mad, but I'm just going to put it, like, here or something. Anyway, so I believe I have all these blocks it gave me within the radius. The last thing I need to do is put a chest down somewhere. I'm going to throw it right on top of here. And this is the coal shop. So by putting it down, it'll tell me either I'm missing blocks still, or it's going to tell me that I've successfully completed the zone. I don't like where this is. I'm going to move this. I'm going to throw the coal shop right here. Ouch. Anyway, as you can see, a lot of things just happened. 1, I got hit by a firework. That happens. You're just going to take damage because the fireworks spawn right where you are when you complete something. But here's the next important step you're going to take. Right now, you get to choose a class. You don't get this item. You don't get 64 emeralds of diamonds or diamond block or diamond sword. It's telling you what you can pick for your path. Merchants specialize, I believe, in making money. Yeah, I know, crazy, right? They also specialize in shops, like this coal shop. So a merchant would allow for the shop to sell more, like quicker, like a cooldown, or it sells at a higher price. I don't know if these do anything right now. Builder, I think, gives you unique buildings, and warriors allow you to have certain benefits toward construction of aggressive structures. You can build... Warriors allow you to build aggressive structures with a benefit. You can build catapults and siege towers, all that stuff. I think you can do it better with Warrior. Right now, I don't know if there's anything that actually happens. I'm a builder on my old server. I don't know if it gives me anything. I'm going to pick Merchant here. So my next step is join a town. Then buy a shack from someone in that town. Once they set you as the owner of that shack, put some bread in the shack chest. So as you can see, a lot of stuff happened here. I got diamonds added to my inventory, and I got 36 coal. The diamonds are not exclusive with Merchant. If you pick Builder or Warrior, you do get them. I believe the class system currently doesn't do much. It's still being worked on. This plugin's still pretty new. And of course, as stuff gets updated, I will of course update this guide. But right now, with that 36 coal, what you're going to do is you're going to go to your coal shop. You're going to open up your coal shop chest. You can tell the difference between the chests because one says chest, one says coal shop. You're going to throw the coal in. And you can see right away I lost 6 coal, which means, if you remember by clicking on this book and clicking coal shop, the input 6 coal or 30 charcoal is equal to $18. So my balance right now is $278.24. Right now we're at a crossroads. If you click the book for civs and you click guide, join a town, then buy a shack from someone in that town. Once they set you as the owner of the shack, then put some bread in the shack chest. That's hard to read out loud. You might say, well, I'm on a server on my own. I can't actually build a shack because there's no one here. And if I go to shops or the menu shops, there's a little bed that represents housing, which is a shack, and it's not here. That's because you're not in a town. So if you have a friend, now's the time to join them. If you don't, and you want to start your own civilization, which of course we're doing in here, we're going to do it a different way. I think that's going to be it for this video. We've got the very basics down. Next episode, we're going to start with building the shack. What you can do in this mod, which I failed to mention, is you can go all the way to the end. If you go to shop, sort regions by level, the last level, you can buy Metropolis, which is the biggest city possible. Requires 50 population. You might say, the server I'm on, there's me and my boys. It's like 3 or 4 people. How am I going to get to 50? Well, this mod actually allows you to get to that spot without having any human players in your town. It's a lot easier to have human players, a hell of a lot easier, but you can go all the way with NPC Housing. NPC Housing basically turns a regular shack, as you saw in the guide, it tells me to build a shack, which we will do eventually. You build a shack, and then you put an additional add-on into it, which turns it into an NPC. And the NPC counts towards your population. As you can see, if I go here, we go to, say, community, towns. I don't have a town right now. There's no population in this town. There's no way to tell. Once I do make a town, it'll say I have 1 population and like 2 housing, which means I can either add a player to my town, or I can add an NPC to my town. So this playthrough, we're going to be doing it all by ourselves. I do have another server with my friends, and I can show the other side of this by inviting someone with a shack. As I said, this is going to be the end for this video. If you did enjoy it, let me know. If there's something else you want to see, let me know as well. I know there's going to be no people watching this, but hopefully this plugin will catch on. This is an amazing plugin. I'm not the owner of this plugin. All the links and all the sources to the plugin will be in the description below. You can check out Multitalented. He's been really helpful on the community Discord, which you can also join through the links below. That's going to be it. Next episode, we're going to set up a council room and build our own town. So I'll see you in the next one. Check out Civs on your own if you'd like to. It's a great plugin, and it's super fun to play with friends. It's better than Factions. It's better than Towny. It's better than both combined. This is one of the best plugins I've ever used, and I've been playing Minecraft since I was like 9. Anyway, check it out. Let me know, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.